Some would argue that the greatest horror game doesn't just scare physically, but psychologically. When it goes beyond the jump scares and the startling imagery, and gets into the player's mind. That, my friends, is what I discovered when I played the first few hours of Darkest Dungeon. Kitted a party of heroes with armor and weapons, leveled them up accordingly, and watched each member of the group either die within mere seconds or get driven completely insane despite my best efforts of retreat. As soon as the game starts, the backstory is laid out before us. The Lord of the Family Manor writes to you, his only child, in regard to his gluttonous yearning for power within the dark arts, and in his quest had accidentally released upon the local hamlet a terrible evil. He begs you to put things to right before sealing the letter and ending his life. Darkest Dungeon isn't exactly narrative driven. However, despite being somewhat stereotypical of this kind of genre, it adds to the melancholic themes of fighting against the odds, and really stylises the game in a brilliant Lovecraftian light. There's two parts to the gameplay. The Hamlet, which is the main hub where party members are healed, supplies are bought and weapons are forged, and the combat itself. Let's start with the Hamlet. There's many areas you'll no doubt be familiar with: the blacksmiths to upgrade weapons and armour, the guild to upgrade individual hero skills in battle, a wagon selling trinkets, a stagecoach to recruit more heroes. And then there's the tavern, the abbey, and the sanitarium, the places you'll take your heroes when they... well, we'll get to that in a moment. The combat is the highlight of the game, and where many reviews of this game has had a hard time describing, so I'm gonna take some time explaining it to you if you're not familiar with the game. I promise I will give my opinion soon. 4 party members are arranged in a line. Close combat fighters like Crusaders and the Hellions are on the right, and long-range heroes like Arbalists and Houndmasters are on the left, depending on the skills allocated to the chosen class. They enter a randomly generated map with a variety of goals, from collect objects, destroy a boss at the end, or simply clear the map of any enemies that get in the way. It sounds simple enough, but it's not too long until you discover the randomness of each action, almost as if a dice is being rolled to determine the outcome of nearly every scenario. Can your healer's spells truly be relied on to compensate damage? Will your fighters hit their mark at all? All this to bear in mind, and I haven't even gotten into the stress levels yet. Fighting monsters in dark dungeons is taxing on your heroes, so as well as making sure all characters stay alive and their health bar doesn't hit 0, you also must ensure everyone remains as sane as possible. Whenever a party member suffers critical damage, there's a good chance the party suffers stress. If their stress level reaches 100, they might suffer serious afflictions ranging from self-damaging masochism to just stubborn paranoia. If stress levels reach 200, the hero may suffer a heart attack, dying instantly regardless for health or equipment. And, just like real life, death in Darkest Dungeon is permanent. Fortunately, if your heroes do survive, stress can be dealt with in either the tavern or the abbey, depending on the hero's preferences on how to relax. You'd think the number of obstacles in your way would just make this game unplayable, and at first I thought exactly the same thing. It's incredibly easy to just lose everything and watch as all your hard work just goes to waste. But after a while of playing, I found myself getting quite invested, determined to fight against any disasters I could. Even if all my heroes returned on minimal health, yet completely insane, as long as they returned alive, and with armfuls of loot and gold, it was still a victory in my eyes. Darkest Dungeon is a brilliant take on a gaming genre that we're all familiar with, whilst at the same time being different enough to warrant enough attention, and because of its replayability and its highly active modding community, this is a game I certainly would recommend for Halloween.